class is a demonstration class of on peripheral vascular diseases. Okay.
Yes, sir.
What is peripheral vascular disease? The peripheral vascular disease, the disease due to chronic obstruction of the peripheral arteries. Peripheral arteries means the mainly the limb artery. Here, am I audible?
Yes,
Hello?
sir.
Okay. Chief complaint of this patient is usually pain and ulcer and gangrene. Pain, usually patient complain of two types of pain. One pain is called intermittent claudication, another one is rest pain. And patient may come with the ulcer and a gangrene also. Usually the limb affected is upper limb, as for example Barthel's disease. It may affect the lower limb also. Affect the it is a slight mistake. Okay, upper limb is the Raynaud's disease only, and lower limb is the Barthel's disease. Okay, bilateral or if the disease may be bilateral or unilateral one, and you have to elaborate each symptoms of the chip complaint like any other diseases. Okay, mode of onset, pain. If the chip complaint is pain, then you have to elaborate the mode of onset, the duration, the exact site, and site where the symptom first appeared. Okay. What is intermittent claudication? Intermittent claudication is a cramp-like pain. Pain in a group of muscles, maybe in the calf muscles, maybe in the muscles of the buttock, maybe in the forefoot, and pain usually starts after walking. It is different. In osteoarthritis, patient usually feels pain on standing. Even when the patient stands up, then the patient complains of pain. But in case of intermittent claudication, it usually not starts on standing, but it starts on walking. And this type of pain is usually relieved by rest. Then you have to inquire the site of pain, intermittent claudication. And the disease, the obstruction depends upon the site of intermittent claudication. Like if the patient complains of the pain over the foot, then the most probably the obstruction in the lower tibial or plantar artery. If it is the intermittent claudication in the calf, the femoral or popliteal junction is the site of obstruction. If the patient feels intermittent claudication over the thigh, then the site of obstruction is the superficial femoral artery. And buttock, similarly buttock, usually due to common iliac artery obstruction, and bilateral buttock pain associated with impotency, it indicates the obstruction in the bifurcation of the aorta. Then intermittent claudication can be classified or gradation. Pain stops after walking a distance is called intermittent claudication. So this is very important. Intermittent claudication. What is the claudication distance? The pain starts after a distance. This distance is called the intermittent claudication distance. It can be classified as grade 1, grade 2, grade 3. What is grade 1 intermittent claudication? Grade 1 intermittent claudication is the continuation of the walking. Patient experiences pain after walking some distance, but if the patient continue to walk, then the pain usually disappears. It's called grade 1 intermittent claudication. What is grade 2 intermittent claudication? If the patient can walk, even the intermittent claudication is there with some effort. Patient চেষ্টা করলে আরো হেঁটে যেতে পারছি, can continue walk with effort. And what is grade 3 intermittent claudication? Pain complains to take rest. Patient walks for some time, then the pain is severe, he cannot walk, he have to take some rest, and again he can walk. This is the intermittent claudication. Then the rest pain. Some patient will complain of rest pain also. But in case of chronic arterial obstructive disease, first symptom is the intermittent claudication. If the patient when the patient come to you, the patient complains of rest pain. But after careful inquiry, we can find out there is a history of rest pain a few days back. What is rest pain? Rest pain is a continuous and aching type of pain, and this pain is due to ischemia of the somatic nerve. In case of intermittent claudication, the pain is due to ischemia of the muscles, but in case of rest pain, it is due to ischemia of the somatic nerve, and it is usually worst at night and aggravated by elevating the limb and relief on hanging the limb below the heart level. আমরা ওয়ার্ডে বিভিন্ন অনেক সময় পেশেন্ট দেখতে পাই, পেশেন্ট সাধারণত বাঁচছে না, বসে আছে, পাটা ঝুলিয়ে এবং পায়ের যে পাতা ফুটটাকে দু হাতে চেপে ধরে সেই পেশেন্ট বসে আছে। ইট ইজ এ ক্লাসিক্যাল সাইন অফ রেস্ট পেন। Then other relevant points, usually application of warmth increases the symptoms. Superficial phlebitis is sometimes seen in Barger's disease. Cardiac disease may be associated. So cardiac arrhythmia, there is the auricular, there is thrombosis in the heart, and which is dislodged due to arrhythmia, and it usually obstruct a peripheral disease. Okay, and then smoking is usually associated in the Barger's disease also, and impotency may be associated in some cases. So what is Raynaud's phenomena? Raynaud's phenomena is the condition resulting in discoloration of the fingers and or toes after exposure to change of temperature or emotional event. It has also some stages. Like stage 1 is stage of pallor or stage of local syncope. Number 2, stage of local cyanosis. 3, stage of engorgement, and 4, stage of ischemic gangrene and resorption of the terminal phalanxes. If the patient give history of such type, you can suspect the patient is most probably suffering from the Raynaud's phenomenon. Okay. There is gangrene. If there is gangrene, if the chief complaint is the gangrene, then you have to inquire about the change of color, where the change of color was there, and whether the temperature is there or not, loss of temperature is there or not, and is there any shades present or not, and whether the patient is mobility is there or the function is there or not. You have to inquire all these things. After taking the histories, all this history, you have to examine the part. Local examination. Local examination means the examination of the part. That is the limb affected limb. First হচ্ছে inspection. First হচ্ছে inspection এ color change. Takes the affected limb and the healthy limb side by side. You have to compare the change, whether any change of color is there or not. By examining the single limb, you cannot comment on whether the change of color is there or not. You have to examine the affected limb and healthy limb side by side, and you have to compare the color. If there is marked pale, the limb is marked pale, it indicates there is acute ischemia. If the limb is congested, purple, blue, and cyanosis there, this means marked ischemia and it is a pregangrenous stage. That means it's a acute ischemia, marked pale, but if you can observe the congested purple blue cyanosis, then it indicates marked ischemia and pregangrenous stage. It is usually present in case of chronic ischemia. What is the signs of ischemia? Signs of ischemia is inspection. Your inspection is continuing. The signs of ischemia. What is signs of ischemia? The thinning of the skin and shininess of the skin, diminished growth of hair, loss of subcutaneous fat, brittle and transverse ridge in nail, and minor ulcer over pressure points. Pressure points mean the ball of the metatarsal bones, heel. These are the pressure points. Then you have to test Barger's test. It is also under the inspection. What is Barger's test? What is the procedure? Patient will be in supine position. Then he will be asked to elevate the limb gradually, and you have to notice that any change of color is there or not. And you have to notice also at which position color has been changed, and you have to measure the angle between the elevated limb and the bed. This angle is called Burgess angle. Well, what are the indications? What are the importance of Burgess angle? Importance of Burgess angle, if the angle is less than 30 degree, it indicates the limb is critically ischemic, where severe ischemia is there.
The tests are done in virtual patients as real patients are unavailable at this pandemic situation. Burgess test is done in supine position. Now the patient is asked to elevate the limb gradually. Notice any change of color. Notice at which position color has been changed. Suppose the color changes noticed at this position. Now measure the angle between the leg and the bed. It is called Burgess angle. If it is less than 30 degree, it indicates severe ischemia.
Okay, next test is capillary filling time. What is the procedure of this test? Then the procedure, patient will be in supine position like in the Burgess test, and then the limb will be elevated. Affected limb will be elevated, and after that, patient are asked to sit and hang the limb by the side of the bed, and notice if any color, the change of color is there or not. Okay, the normal limb, what will be the change? There will be no change. The pink color will be pink in either position. And in case of ischemic limb, on elevation, limb will be pale, and on dependency, the limb will be similarly returned back to in the pink position, pink color. And you have to notice the time. What is the time takes to change the color, which is called capillary filling time. In severe ischemia, capillary filling time is usually 20 to 30 seconds.
Capillary filling time. For this procedure, patient is asked to lie supine and elevate his leg. After elevating the leg, the patient is asked to sit up and hang his leg down by the side of the table. A normal leg will remain pink as it was in elevated position, but an ischemic leg will first become pale when elevated and gradually become pink in horizontal position. This change of color takes place slowly and is called the capillary filling time. In severe ischemia, it takes around 20 to 30 seconds to become pink.
Then venous refilling. What is the procedure? The limb is elevated for some time. Patient is supine position. Limb is elevated for some time. Then the limb is laid flat on the bed. And superficial veins of the lower limb be normal. The normal refilling will be in 55 seconds. In severe ischemia, it will be delayed or veins will be remain collapsed. Then if the gangrene is there, you have to examine what is the extent of the gangrene, what is the color of the affected part, whether the limb is dry and mummified, it is a dry gangrene, whether it is a wet and putrefying, it is present in DV, the wet gangrene. And you have to also notice the line of demarcation. What is the line of demarcation? It is a line between the living and a dead part. And line of demarcation is more marked in case of dry gangrene. And in wet gangrene, this line is a vague one. And you have to also inspect the limb above the gangrenous area, whether there is edematous, whether there is a skip lesion is there or not. You have to examine. After inspecting the limb, you have to palpate the limb. Palpate first in palpation in anywhere. You have to examine for the temperature. A temperature usually best felt with the back of the finger, like in other examinations. And you have to compare the ferro limb and feel the whole limb to find out the zone of temperature change.
Skin temperature. The temperature is best felt with the back of the fingers. It is always essential to compare the two limbs. And to feel the whole of the affected limb to find out the zone where the temperature changes from the normal warm temperature to cold skin of the ischemic site. Suppose this is the affected limb.
In ischemic limb, the limb will be cold.
Skin temperature. The temperature is best.
Next হচ্ছে palpation হচ্ছে next হচ্ছে capillary refilling. It is usually it is seen on the tip of the nail or toe, tip of the toe or finger. It is pressed few seconds, then it is released. The pressure is you have to press the tip of the nail or toe for few seconds, and then the pressure is released. Normally, nail will branch on pressure and pink on release. In ischemic limb, time will be time takes much longer.
Refilling time is seen on the tip of the nail of a finger or on the tip of the nail of a toe. The nail is pressed for few seconds, then released. Normally, nail will branch on pressure and pink on release. In ischemic limb, time will be longer.
Then venous refilling. What is the procedure? Index finger of two hands are placed over a selected vein and pressed firmly. Then the finger nearer the heart is moved proximally, keeping the pressure to empty the vein. Then release the distal finger and see the filling of the vein, and see the rate of filling of the vein. In ischemic limb, the filling will be very slow, and in AV fistula, arteriovenous fistula, the filling will be much more rapid.
Venous refilling. The two index fingers are placed side by side on a vein. This is the vein. The two fingers are now pressed firmly, and the finger near the heart is moved proximally, keeping the steady pressure on the vein so as to empty the short length of the vein between the two fingers. The distal finger is now released. It will allow venous refilling to be observed. This is poor in ischemic limb and is increased in arteriovenous fistula. It is known as Harvey's sign.
Then you have to palpate the gangrenous area. You have to find out whether there is capitation or is there or not. Capitation is usually present in case of wet gangrene, in case of gas gangrene, or gangrene due to anaerobic infection also. Then you have to examine the area above the gangrenous part. Then it's very important the palpation of the blood vessels. Here you have to palpate the pulses, like in you have palpated in medicine department. You have to count the rate of the pulse. You have to see the rhythm of the pulse. You have to see the volume of the pulse and the character of the arterial wall. And next important is the disappearing pulse. What is that? It is apparently normal peripheral pulse will disappear after exercising the point of intermittent claudic acid. It is a sign of unmasking the preliminary stage of arterial occlusion. What is that? in case of in case of obstruction on the arterial system, in chronic obstruction, there is development of the collateral circulation. And in normal phase, the pulse in severe, though the limb is very severe, severely ischemic, but pulse may be palpable in resting phase. But after certain exercising at the point of intermittent claudication, the distal part will not separate, will not cope up with the demand of this distal part. So the pulse will be disappear after exercising it. It is called disappearing pulse. You have to examine whether in case of ischemic limb, and you have to palpate the different arteries like dorsal pedis artery. In each case of palpation of each artery, you have to palpate in resting phase and also after exercising the patient. And then dorsal pedis artery, where it is palpable, the proximal part of the metatarsal space, first metatarsal space, lateral to the extensor hallucis longus. The posterior tibia is behind the medial malleolus, midway between the medial malleolus and tendon-Achilles tendon. And where the popliteal artery, patient is supine position, knee is flexed at 40 degree with heel resting in bed, and popliteal artery felt in the lower part of the popliteal fossa over tibial condyles. And where femoral artery, just below the inguinal ligament, midway between the anterior spine and symphysis pubis.
Palpation of arteria dorsalis pedis, which is palpated in the proximal part of first intermetatarsal space, lateral to the external hallucis longus tendon. Palpation of posterior tibial artery. It is palpated behind the medial malleolus, midway between medial malleolus and tendon Achilles. This is the tendon Achilles. Palpation of popliteal artery. The knee is placed to 40 degree with the heel resting on bed so that the muscles around the popliteal fossa are relaxed. The clinician places his fingers over the lower part of the popliteal fossa and the fingers are moved slideway to feel the pulsation of the popliteal artery against the posterior aspect of the tibial condyle.
Then another the palpation, some test, the crossed leg test. The test for detection of the popliteal pulsation. Patient is asked to sit with leg crossed. Popliteal fossa of one leg will be against the knee of the other leg. Patient attention diverted by history taking and oscillatory movement of the foot with popliteal pulse is usually seen. If the artery blocked, oscillatory movement will be absent.
Cross leg test. This is performed to detect popliteal pulsation. The patient is asked to sit with the legs crossed one above the other so that the popliteal fossa of one leg will lie against the knee of the other leg. The crossed leg will show oscillatory movements of the foot which occurs synchronously with the pulse of the popliteal artery. If the popliteal artery is blocked, this oscillatory movement will be absent.
Then you have to examine the neurological system, both sensory and motor, and you have to examine the regional limb node also. After that, auscultation. Auscultation over the artery. In case of aneurysm, systolic murmur is present, and continuous masonry murmur if present, it indicates presence of arteriovenous fistula. You have to auscult over the arteries and also over the abdomen for abdominal aorta aneurysm. General examination, you have to examine the cardiovascular system, you have to examine the abdomen also. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Any question? This is all about the examination of the peripheral arteries. I will see the show you the patient when it is available. Okay.
Okay,
All these are
okay.
the taken in the normal individual. The individual upon which the examination was done is not a patient, is a normal individual. When the patient will be available in the ward, I will show you the actual the change of color, the blood taste, all these things. Okay.
Sir.
Okay. Thank you.